Hello and welcome. Jay Fiset here, founder of The Creator's Code, best-selling author and business strategist. Thank you for being here today and choosing to download the report, Escape the Time for Money Trap, the top 7 scaling strategies to grow your coaching business. You are going to be thrilled that you did. What I'm going to do today is to share with you how to evaluate the fastest, easiest, and most joyful ways to scale your business so you can experience leverage, contribution, and flow. What that means in a practical sense is that you never again think or say these words. Oh, I just need 3 more clients. Good Lord, I pray that they renew. Or, where else can I just get 1 more client? And you will never have the inside voice and your outside voice misaligned again. Now, you know what I mean. That's when a friend or a family member says to you, "Hey, how's your business doing?" And we answer with 2 voices. One the outside voice and one the inside voice. The outside voice says, "Oh, well, I'm in transition." And the inside voice says, "But I don't really know what to." And the outside voice says, "I'm finishing my practicum." And the inside voice says, "Good Lord, I hope I can get some paying clients." And the outside voice says, "Oh, I'm taking the summer off." And the inside voice says, "Because I don't have any clients." And the outside voice says, "I got 2 clients this month, yay!" And the inside voice says, "But I needed 5 to keep up with my bills." Scaling your business properly will end all of these worries and challenges. Now, I need to tell you something. I have huge love of people like you, people who make a difference, people who contribute and give of themselves to better people's lives, to better people's businesses, and ultimately, better the world. And I believe that it is some of the most significant work on planet Earth, which is why it breaks my heart and it frustrates me when I see talented people, gifted people, struggle. And that's why I am so glad that you are here. You made a brilliant choice to explore how to scale your business, to create more value, and to make more money doing what you love and sharing your unique gifts and message. So a little bit about me. First and foremost, I originally came from a large group training and facilitating background. And I've been doing that for over 25 years. And over that time, I have also personally trained hundreds of coaches and facilitators. And the reality is that I started in a business model that had some significant scale to it right out of the gate. And it wasn't until years later that I started to very selectively accept one-on-one clients. I was there, at the very beginning of the coaching industry, watching coaches go and get certified and be all excited, and in most cases disappear into the ether. All because of one simple assumption. We might even call it an industry myth or a limiting belief, which I can summarize in one sentence. Trading time for money coaching is a business model. And that, my friends, is BS. It is not true. Trading time for money coaching, that really boils down to a job. Now, it's a significant and a meaningful job, but it's a job that has a limit on your income and your freedom. Because again, you're trading time for money. Now, I'm sure that you are all already fully aware of this. Thus, you choosing to be here and downloading the Escape the Time for Money Trap report. Now, I specialize in supporting my clients to design and execute business growth and scaling strategies that are right for them. And implementing the right scaling strategy for you is the key to creating the business that you desire and deserve, with all of the leverage, the freedom, and the contribution that you imagine. So this is my invitation to you, to join me in learning how to apply the best scaling strategies in my free live training. So please, mark your calendar and join me in one of my upcoming complimentary live and interactive trainings. At any point in this video, you can simply click the Register Now button below, and it will open another window for you to select the date and time of the live training that works best for you. And all the while, you can still listen and learn from this video. So, if you are ready to escape the time for money trap, if you're ready to do the work one time and get paid many times, then join me on the live training. And we're going to get started right here, right now. Get ready, because here come the top 7 scaling strategies rated from most difficult to the easiest for the average coach. Now, all of these strategies are ways to contribute value to your clients and your tribe instead of trading time for money in a one-on-one coaching model. And I will wager that none of these new ideas are really that new to you. But for one reason or another, you have not tackled them. time, complexity, capital, belief in self. And I do think that it's important for a moment just to explore and acknowledge some of the reasons, consciously and unconsciously, that these scaling strategies are not a part, or perhaps not as large a part, as you may want of your current business. Now, my background is personal transformation, the discovery of what makes us as human beings tick. And I did this work for 15 years prior to working with entrepreneurs as a business strategist. Now, here is the single greatest truth that hit me on the head when I began working with entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship, and especially coaching, is the universe's most perfectly designed personal transformation program. Now, the reason for this is that we all design our personal problems into our business. Think about it. What personal problems of yours show up in your business? Honest to God, it's all of them. Let's be frank. So let's just take a moment to acknowledge why we are stuck trading time for money. Top of the list is we were taught at our coach training school the one-on-one model. Perhaps we have beliefs that say we cannot create the same depth of connection and service using a one-to-many model. Perhaps we believe our network is too small. Maybe you don't feel qualified to lead large groups. Perhaps it will cost too much. You know, rooms, advertising, teams. Perhaps a deeper, and for some a darker truth for many coaches, is that you don't get your personal needs of importance, significance, superiority met when you're not in front of and serving an individual client. Most people who enter the coaching industry are also making the transition from employee to entrepreneur and still hold unconsciously the beliefs that made them great employees, but marginal entrepreneurs. And often it boils down to, I don't know what I don't know. All of these and more are often at play. So let's start at the beginning and explore the top 7 scaling strategies that coaches use to grow their business. Here are the top 7 strategies, in order of the most complex to the easiest. Large-scale events of 150 plus, selling from the stage, books and products, joint ventures, facilitating workshops 30 and above, group coaching, and mastermind groups. Now, I created a ranking system where I ranked each of these on 5 criteria on a scale of -10 to +10. And here is how they stacked up. Large-scale events of 150 or more came in at the most challenging and difficult at a rating of -13. There's lots of reasons for this, but the short version is this. Number 1, it's tough to put 150 people in the room. Number 2, you have to have great contacts to bring people who are significant and big names and want to do work with you to get them on the stage. Then there's all the capital of renting the room, the space, the videographer, the team. It's a big deal. -13. If you can do them well, they can be incredibly profitable, but for starting out, they're damn difficult. Next on our list of most difficult is selling from the stage. Selling from the stage is mighty sexy, and I've heard a ton of people say, I just need to get on people's stages. Everything's going to be great. I just need a stage. That rated -8. And the reason it rated -8 is this, is that you have to be a stunningly powerful speaker to get that to work for you. Stunningly powerful speaker. And then you have to be able to get on other people's stages. And the only way to do that is to have stunning results, is to have experience, is to have a phenomenal back-end program that you can deliver, and you get to go out and fill the front of the funnel, So the truth of the matter is it looks fantastic, but you got to travel the world, you have to have great relationships, and you've got to be able to deliver results day in, day out consistently. It's a tough one, although it's sexy. Now, both of those were negatives. We're now moving into our first positive, which is this, books and products. Now, I'm a huge fan of books and books and products landed at +7. Now, here's the thing. I think every person in this space should have a book and a product. The challenge with it is simply this, is that the books and the products do not make a bunch of money in most cases. And people have these little fantasies, I'm going to be a best-selling author, I'm going to make millions of dollars. The honest-to-God truth about it, a dear friend of mine, Laurel Langmeyer, 5-time New York Times best-selling author, and her books still are not her moneymaker. So a book on its own isn't going to do it. In addition to that, programs. There are more online programs than you can shake a stick at that have never really been sold or delivered. So the real work happens with these things after they're done. Are they powerful ways of leverage? Yes, if you sell them. So it gets +7. I love joint ventures. And joint ventures comes in at +13. You probably found your way to this video through a joint venture relationship that I have. But there's a couple of things that you've got to be clear about in terms of joint ventures. Number 1, You need to have value you can bring to a joint venture. And what that usually means at this stage of the game is you've got a decent size list. In addition to that, you've got to be pretty handy with technology to figure out affiliate links and how you share and how all of those things happen. And you need to develop relationships, and great relationships with people who are aligned with you that you can trust to deliver great value. So it's a powerful tool, but it's just plus 13 because there are still some particular requirements to get into that game. Now, next step up is this: facilitating workshops. And that is of 30 plus. So I want to be very clear about this. So facilitating workshops is one of my favorite things in the universe. It's how I made most of, frankly, my money and built my business. And it's rated at a plus 16. And it's rated at a plus 16 because there is unbelievable intrinsic reward. The truth of the matter is you don't have to put 150 people in the room. You can do 30, 40, or 50 and have very profitable experiences. And it can be one of those things that when you're facilitating, you're not so much teaching, you're not so much telling, you're inviting, you're pulling out, you're assisting people to create their own breakthroughs. And it can be one of the most rewarding experiences in the universe and can be quite profitable, so long as you understand the difference between fixed costs and variable costs, and you make sure you drive your numbers way above your fixed costs. Number 6. Group coaching. Now, group coaching got a rating of 24. And group coaching, if you think about it, this is pretty simple and straightforward. You have your program already, and instead of delivering it one-to-one, you're going to adapt it and scale it a little bit so that you can deliver that same program to 1 to 5, 1 to 7, 1 to 9, 1 to 10 perhaps, and you get to do exactly the same work. Teach them what you need to teach them, help them step through the process of learning it and applying it. All of those pieces, you get to coach them through the process of creating that experience or result. You already have the content. You just got to learn how to scale it, develop it, and deliver it in a meaningful way where instead of getting paid for the one-on-one relationship, you're getting paid for the results of a group. And that can be unbelievably exciting. So plus 24, our second highest. And here is the top of the list. And it is mastermind groups. And mastermind groups gets a rating of 33. 33! So 33 out of a possible plus 50. Now, there's a reason for this. Well, there's a bunch of reasons for this. Number one, it's the easiest thing in the world. First and foremost, all you need is a group of somewhere between 6 to 12 people. Most people can do that. Get them in a long-term commitment, like a span of a year. Make sure that you develop a community and a relationship where you are not solely responsible for the content or the experience. It is when they are drawing upon the wisdom, the experience, and the network of each other. And you get to guide. You get to hold the context. You get to serve and support a powerful community to create what's most important to them. They can be highly profitable. They don't need to take a lot of time. They are 1,000 times easier to build than almost any of these other processes. And all you need to do is be a leader in that space, be able to share tidbits of wisdom and support, help each of the members break through to what it is that they need to create the results that they want, and boom, you got a mastermind. So masterminds are the clear winner. Let's be clear about this. All of these are powerful scaling processes. I have done all of them. I frankly recommend all of them. The big question is, where do you start? Where do you get the fastest, the easiest, and the most joyful lift in your business? And the clear answer is mastermind groups. So the big difference between one-on-one and one-to-many is that on the one hand, we trade time for money. And on the other hand, we trade value for money. And in the next video and in the live trainings, I'm going to go into great detail and share with you the power of masterminds and what are the 3 massive mistakes that most coaches and consultants make when launching masterminds and how you can avoid them so that you can easily add 6 figures to your income. Now, the first step today is I want you to start thinking about how you could integrate masterminds into your model. So I'm going to share with you a couple of case studies and a couple of ways in which masterminds can be rolled out. And I want you to just really think about it as we're going through this. How could you integrate some of these ideas in your model? So we'll just start with ways to integrate masterminds. For example, share your expertise. That could be self-care for moms. That could be technology. That could be you're a great author and writer and you know how to do that. That could be personal development. That could be spiritual development. But share an area of expertise that you are a leader in, that you are knocking it out of the park with. You know, a brief example that I'll tell you more about in a minute is I lead the online business breakthrough, which is a super simple process. 10 people, $15,000 a year, $150K, and we meet one night a month. The simplest, easiest, and most joyful thing I do because I get to share my learning edge with them and they get leading edge support. Another cool way to integrate masterminds is not just the expertise, but organize peer events. So these could be industry events. So think of it this way. You could have the same industry but different geographical location masterminds. So I know of automotive dealerships, I know of dentists, I know of chiropractors, I know of accountants, I know of network marketing people. So there's a whole bunch of ways if you think industry, different location, but come together to share best practices. Another way is network access. So a client of mine who was an Olympic athlete launched a mixed martial arts business and brought clients to actually get on the mat with MMA stars that would have otherwise been unreachable. So the mastermind leveraged his network. Here's another one, location access. At the high end, think Richard Branson and Necker Island. It's brilliant. People want to be with him. They want to be on his island. Another underused use of masterminds is nonprofit groups such as church groups. So there's a church in Calgary where the weekly sermon is actually the result of a mastermind between the minister, the music director, the art director, and key members of the board. So you could use it as a nonprofit. Also, internal and organizational masterminds, sales team masterminds, innovation teams, customer care, congregation care teams. The applications for masterminds are literally endless. So the clear winning strategy to grow your business and to scale in the fastest, easiest, and most joyful ways is mastermind groups. So let's talk for a moment about what is a mastermind group. The name mastermind was created by Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich. And it's when a small group of people meet to grow, learn, evolve, and support one another. It can be on any topic, it can have any meeting length, and it can be virtually any format. And here's the most significant thing, that it is truly a spiritual process. A quote from his book, which I truly love, is the coordination of knowledge and effort of two or more people who work toward a definite purpose in the spirit of harmony. No two minds ever come together without thereby creating a third invisible, intangible force which may be likened to a third mind. Napoleon Hill. In the masterminds that I lead and teach others to lead, we rely on a structure that does three things. First and foremost, it gets oriented around the person's vision and mission. And then the next piece is that we want to create an environment of what I would call familial support. And that familial support really boils down to this. It is where we stand for the best in one another, even when the other person may not believe it themselves. It is also that piece of we might get a little frustrated or annoyed with someone else in our mastermind group, but you know what? At the end of the day, just like at the end of Thanksgiving dinner, we still give them a hug, say I love you, I stand the best for you, go get them. So there's this idea of familial support. Now, in addition to that, there is a structure and a process that allows people to draw out the wisdom, the experience, the network, and the resources of the other people in the group. That is key. Because this isn't somebody sitting there going, okay, teacher, teach me. This is about us coming together and creating true collaboration, which is magical when it happens. And in every one of the little mastermind segments, there's always a little bit of education. And think about this, it's not as though, we have to teach them how to reinvent, the wheel. We're talking about one tidbit that will help them to apply and integrate. We're talking about one little bit of data that could make them the most interesting person at their next cocktail party. We're talking about a way and a process for them to leap forward in their lives. So, the central component is their mission and vision. Then around that, familial support, access to network and resources, and a little bit of education. And we roll that together with a structure that simply kicks ass. Now, frankly, we're going to tell you way more about that structure in the next video about how you can utilize it and apply that in your business. So I want to share a couple of quick case studies with you. These are all masterminds that I either lead myself or I have helped structure and trained other people to lead. And one of my favorites was a woman who wanted to lead a mastermind group aimed at self-care for moms. Now, she's an amazing woman, was raising 4 kids, was marathoning, was in incredible health and fitness, was rocking in her relationship, and people wanted to know how the hell she did it. So she ran 2 groups. So each of the groups had 10 people in it. She only charged $97 a month. But 2 groups of 10 running for a year, that generated for her, of course, $24,000, working 2 nights a month. Now, what's really fascinating, she also had a joint venture arrangement with me that generated another $28,000, all sharing and doing what she would love to do and what people wanted to discover from her, which was helping moms commit to self-care and creating the life that they dream and desire. Simple, clean, easy. So that's a good example of a pretty low-end mastermind, $97 a month. Pretty simple, clean, and easy. Now, I'm going to go the other end of the spectrum, and here's a mastermind of mine. Is I run something called the Online Business Breakthrough. It's $15,000 a year. We get together once a month and we utilize case studies. I share with them the processes that I'm learning and applying to my own business. We have one weekend a year where we do a production weekend. We set up the cameras, the video, the graphic designers, the web designers, the automated webinar people. We put all that together in a room and we work on it for a weekend. But what it really boils down to is this. In a year, that cranks out about $150,000 working one night a month with a weekend a month and a little bit of support coaching along the way. That's the power of masterminds. Now, in your world, there is a spot for a mastermind. I absolutely 1000% know it. And what's going to transpire in our next video is that I'm going to help you frame out what would actually happen in a mastermind. In fact, we're going to give you an entire manual that will work all of those details out. So, until then, I'm going to ask you to do a couple of things. Number one, I'm going to ask you to download that workbook if you haven't already. Make sure you read it. It will add more depth to some of the things that I've mentioned to you here. In addition to that, I'm going to ask you to make some Facebook comments. Share with your community what you learned about scaling your business. What would be the fastest, easiest, and most joyful way for you to do it, which is most likely masterminds, quite clearly. And then the third piece is this. I want you to get ready for our second bit of content, which is going to be something called the Mastermind Mentors Manual, which is literally a 52-page manual teaching you everything you need to know about how to roll out your mastermind and how to run it. Be sure you get yourself registered in the live and highly interactive training, where I will dive deep into what it takes to roll out a mastermind that works in your business. So keep your eyes open for the Mastermind Mentors Manual and our next training video. I look forward to helping you mastermind to millions.